Hey, good morning. It's Connie's Community here, and I'm Connie. I haven't been on in a few days. I'm sorry. Busy life, one day at a time. So, today I want to just kind of talk off the hip about some some hard topics. First, this is my grandson's t shirt. I have no idea what it means, none whatsoever. And so, if someone wants to comment and tell me what it is, that'd be cool. And I love t shirts, by the way. I love mugs, all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of contacting people so I can show off their stuff online. And I think that would be fun. So, anyway, I want to talk about a hard topic today, and that is trauma, sexual abuse as a child or an adult or whatever. And it's not something people like to talk about, and they're all hush hush about it. But, what we bring to the light no longer can harm us. There is a new thought, I will just let you know. There is a new thought that if this stuff is not bothering you, you're not having intrusive dreams, you're not scared in life, you're not having outbursts of crying and all of that kind of stuff, and not really knowing why, or you do know why and you just can't control it anymore. But anyway, if you're not having those symptoms, you don't have to go and delve into it in therapy and all of that stuff. That's the new thought in town. But if you are having these symptoms, then please go seek help, because there's many things, many different kinds of therapy for you to get over this and not live your life as a victim, and instead view it as a survivor and possibly help other people survive what they've been through. So, for one, it is never your fault. I don't care if you're walking down the street naked. I don't care if you're a, a tiny kid who, kept secrets forever. I don't care. Under any circumstance, it is not your fault that there are these sexual predators out there, and they're good at what they do. Be very careful online, and parents, watch your kids online, because they're everywhere. And kids are actually going and meeting up with people who they think are somebody else, or they, are complimented by these older men or women that are paying attention to them, not understanding that it is not okay. It's not okay under any circumstances for an adult of any age over 18 to have sexual relationships with a child. If you're 17 and 18 and you guys have been going at the, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about predators. And so, one thing we do as parents that we don't realize that we do is sometimes we send a message that a child takes to heart. Like, I know that we're all more openly talking about this stuff, and we're all trying to keep our children safe, and all of that. But sometimes what we say is, you know, tell me and I'll take care of it. I won't let anybody hurt you. And if somebody does, I'll take care of it. Um, and sometimes that's taken to heart by the child. And then they think, oh, if I tell my parents, they're going to go do something, and they're going to go to jail, and I'm going to lose them, and a child doesn't want to lose their parents or guardian or whatever, um, under any circumstances, and they will protect that. So make sure that what we're saying is, you know, um, something that the child isn't going to misunderstand, because you don't want them to not come to you because they think that you're going to go kill this dude, or you're going to, go and uh, hurt somebody or do something that you could get in trouble for, and then therefore they suffer for however long it takes for you to be punished, So we're going to send a better message. And maybe the message should be something like, I'll do everything in the world that I can to protect you. But if something ever happens to you, come to me so we can go and stop this. We can go to the police and have this stopped. Um, and hopefully our kids have the courage to come to us and tell us. And if they do, believe them, regardless of their age, believe them. You know, Personally, um, I'm like the only person I know who wasn't sexually abused as a child. I mean, the more I talk to people, the more I find out how common this is, and it's not okay. And I, the more I talk to people, the more I find out how their parents did not believe them, because it couldn't be good old Uncle Harry or good old, it couldn't be um, your new husband. How could you love somebody that's like that, Or it couldn't be whatever the circumstance. Now, as an adult, um, I almost was as a child. I was kidnapped, and I actually happened to be able to use this mouthpiece of mine and talk the perpetrator out of attacking me at that second. And, let's drive around and think about this for a minute. And then, I'd build up the courage and blah, blah, blah. I was able to talk my way out of that. And then in the meantime, a friend of mine jumped out of the car, and because there was three of us girls, and was able to get help before anything happened to us. It was a very traumatic situation, but uh, you know, the actual sexual act did not happen. As an adult, I was, um, I guess you would call it, raped or whatever. Um, and it was by somebody who was very important in my life. So it was not a happy thing at all. And it wasn't anything I could really report because nobody would have believed me. So the reason I say that is because I was going through a divorce at the time, and it was actually my husband. And this happens, this happens with boyfriends and dating and husbands, and um, when things get crazy in domestic violence, you're not volunteering your body to somebody who treats you that way. And so it's a worldwide epidemic, and I just wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to talk about healing from that. And there's lots of things out there that we can do. We can go to groups, where other people are there. Um, we can go to our therapist. If we're having bad dreams, there's really good medication out there now to help us to be able to get some sleep, which is really important. Um, and it takes away our dreams. It doesn't work for I mean, the dream part works for everybody, but the medication itself isn't happy with everybody. So it has to be tested and for a few days at a time and see how it works. Um, I just want to really iterate to you, if you're a teenager watching this, or if you're a woman watching this and these things are happening in your life due to domestic violence and stuff, to go get help. Come forward, go get help. And if you are friends of people who are going through this, be supportive and non-judgmental. Um, it doesn't matter, you know we have no slut shaming here. I don't. If someone asks, "What did you have on?" What do you mean? What did I have on? It wouldn't matter if I was naked in the living room and somebody walked in. It's not their right to start touching me. Um, so uh, it doesn't matter. And the child has no word at all in what happens. And they're intimidated and they're scared. And here's another point for children. Some children grow up being really confused about their abuse because, some of the things that happened felt good. We are human beings and we have these organs in our body and it felt good. And so there's a big, huge shame about that. Like, oh my God, something must be wrong with me because, that happened. And why did they pick me? And then it felt good. Think of all the shame and guilt and just who are you going to tell? Who are you going to tell that to and not feel like something's wrong with you? Well, there's nothing wrong with you. This is common. This is normal under these circumstances. If it wasn't a violent rape and a violent incident, then it's very possible that your body responded to it. Big deal. That's what our bodies are supposed to do under certain circumstances. So if your child starts talking about it like that and stuff, don't be shocked and ashamed and appalled. This is normal. We want to allow our children to come to us and talk about the hard topics. And this is one of the hardest topics. If you're around in the 12-step program, and there is step 4 where you take a inventory of yourself, and then step 5 is where you share it. It is this sexual stuff that people don't want to tell you, that they're ashamed to put into their writings. And what holds them back from actually doing those steps is the sexual stuff. Somebody, you know, um, who is a parolee or something has no problem telling you that they did this crime or that crime, or they hurt this person, or some, that stuff. But when it comes to the sexual stuff, where they were abused, possibly in prison even, um, that's the stuff nobody wants to talk about. So I just wanted to talk about this today because it's one of the hard topics. Be open, watch your kids. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, that it happens because you don't. Watch for signs of something different going on in their life. Who are they hanging around with and who are their um, family members. Do you ever get something weird feeling in your stomach? If so, trust it. Um, for you, for us, it's obvious things that, if we're walking down a dark alley and a big guy's walking in, towards us, we're going to cross the street or get in our car or do whatever we can fast enough so that us as women who feel intimidated by these things can protect ourselves. Most of the time, that is not the circumstance in which these things happen. Yes, of course, they do happen, but there are hundreds of thousands of unreported cases of sexual assault all the time, happening all the time, because it's not that person. It's, um, somebody um, somebody in the home, a neighbor, a teacher, all kinds of things. So I just want us to be aware. I know that we think we're aware, but I want you to become mindful on every second about this because it is out of control. You know, and there, for somebody who's a pedophile, there really isn't a cure. Um, I come across people like this in my work, um, both victims and perpetrators, and it kills me, the mentality that I see, um, and the justification that I've heard for these types of behaviors. So I want people to start teaching this, just like you teach about looking both ways before crossing the street. What do we do in a fire drill? What do you do if you feel uncomfortable around somebody? What do you do if someone tries to touch you? Or and just in a matter of fact way, just like we teach health and safety every day. You brush your teeth every day. This is what else you have to worry about every day. Not worry about, but if this were to happen today, what would you do? What would be your first thing that you would do? And hopefully it would be tell somebody. And don't be offended if they can't come to you. Maybe they're scared that if they come to you, you're going to react and just, ugh. So whoever they come to, That's important. At least they went to somebody, and that somebody's going to come to you, whether it's a teacher, a family member, um, a friend's parent, whatever it is. Who cares? It was told to somebody who could come and tell you and the authorities and all of that need to handle the situation. So don't get upset about, any of it. Stay calm, think about what you're saying, listen to your child, love them, and constantly remind them that it's not their fault. Listen to your friend who may have got raped or whatever. Listen and just be non-judgmental and love them. Don't ask questions. They'll tell you things. And what I mean by that is like, what did you do? Or it's just like asking somebody who got socked in the face by their husband, well, what did you do? What happened? What do you mean, what did I do? I didn't do anything to deserve getting socked in the face. I could be a horrible human being, but I don't deserve to be socked in the face. Maybe I said, no, I'm not going to cook dinner tonight. And that is what set that person off. Well, that has nothing to do with me. That's their behavior. It's not nothing to do with me if I get raped. It's their behavior. It's their mentality. It's them. It's not the victim. So quit punishing the victim, quit slut shaming, as we say, and worrying about what somebody's wearing or how much they had to drink, or it doesn't matter. Nobody has the right to do these things to these women. Um, there's all this sex trafficking going on and stuff, and everybody's like, oh, it's illegals that are doing all of this stuff. America is the number one consumer of these sex um, slave stuff. I don't know how to put it. My mind went blank because this makes me angry. And so of the sex trade field, Americans are the number one um, people that they are catering to. So it people get stolen, they get taken to other countries or abducted in other countries or whatever. And not all, of course, but rich American men and women, I'm going to include women, uh, go to these different countries and get to do whatever they want because they have the money. And so it's catered to the people with the money. And so blaming supply and demand in anything is the way the money works, right? Supply and demand. And until the demand goes down because we catch these people and put them away, which is really hard to do, by the way, um, the supply is going to keep being there and it's going to go up and up and up. And pornography on, the web is out of control. And then they all know where they can go to see these children's stuff and just other stuff, torture and all kinds of stuff. It's just a huge money making industry. And, that's just disgusting. So, the real topic I was on today is personal trauma and trauma of our children. Get help for our kids. Get help for yourself if you need to. Um, don't play victim. Get over that hump and become a survivor. Get angry. Go for, do the walks and participate in stuff that empower women and yourself. Find your happy place. We're going to talk about meditation and stuff on another video and learn how to breathe and, through some of our stuff because post-traumatic stress is real and anxiety is real and panic attacks are real, and we need to learn some um, tools that we can use besides just expecting there to be a magic pill, which I am not downplaying medication. I take medication myself, but it's not going to fix everything. So we need to have these tools that we can use to fix this stuff. So anyway, my soapbox, I get on it and I start going, and this is probably too long, and nobody's ever going to listen to it. But um, I hope you did, and I hope that if you are a survivor, that you seek some help, or contact me through the comments below, leave your email, we'll talk, whatever it is. So for today, that's it. Um, I want you to breathe and relax and make a list of things you want to accomplish today. And you are okay just the way you are. And it's not your fault. And I'm sorry you had to feel the way that you felt. And I hope that you are able to overcome this with the help of your family and friends and therapy and possibly medication or whatever. So I love you guys, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Thanks.